You ready?
She's not.
I just started dripping away at the back here.
I know. Come on,
Tell me
sorry.
when you're ready, son. Ready?
Man's ready, bro.
This is KUGAN CASSIUS.
Wait, start again,
Oh,
mate.
I don't know.
This is KUGAN CASSIUS.
This is KUGAN CASSIUS for iField TV in association with MTK
Nah,
Global.
start again.
Seriously?
Yeah.
This is KUGAN.
Can't you start it different for once?
Well, how do you want to do it? Indian?
Are you
Lankan.
Sri Lankan? Is that Indian?
No, but people get confused.
Yeah. Alright.
Do you want me to do it? Tell me the accent, I'll do it.
Not the accent as such, but it is always. This is KUGAN CASSIUS.
It's a trademark, isn't it? It's like a buffer, isn't it?
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. So rock and roll.
Is that right?
Yeah. This is KUGAN CASSIUS. And you take a deep breath. Anyone that's about to do an interview with KUGAN, watch the deep breath before he goes.
This is KUGAN CASSIUS for iField TV in association with MTK Global. I'm joined by Unified Heavyweight Champion. What?
You ain't got to chat that in there. You can just call me AJ.
You said this last time. All right. KUGAN CASSIUS here with Anthony. Is that all right? Formal enough for you?
Ah, well, I did say AJ, but if Anthony suits you better, Anthony suits me just fine.
This is quite a great backdrop behind you, if people can't realise. These are actual VHS tapes of all your favourite films. You had a VHS player?
I think most people did, yeah.
Did they?
VHS, yeah. The differences between DVD and VHS is it's just memory format in the sense that with VHS, you could never just kind of touch where you would like it to be. Like, on YouTube, you can just get to the point you want it.
Press a button.
Wait, it's got to go right back, and it just shows the development of memory format. And it's quite interesting because it shows how advanced humans are in the sense that subconsciously we can always remember a point of where we was once in life. We haven't got to go back of everything we've been through today, everything we done last night, everything we done yesterday morning for us to get to a point we was at. So it shows how advanced the human mind is if you choose to tap into your greatness.
Absolutely. Have you got a VHS player at home?
No, with time I've evolved, just like the VHS, and fast forward to the DVDs we have now. I've just got.
Because some of your old amateur fights might be on VHS, so you might.
In the terms of, I thought you meant, do I still watch VHS?
No, I mean I've still got one.
Yes,
at home, yeah.
I've still got a lot of my my old VHS tapes of my amateur fights.
Okay. Have you watched your fight back with Takam?
Yeah, I watched it back. I ordered it on pay-per-view and I watched it back.
Did you have to pay for that?
Yeah, because it was nothing on YouTube. So yeah.
You bought it the next day?
Yeah, Sunday.
Me
and King watched it. Yeah.
Well, looking back on it now, what did you take from it?
Well, with so much suspense on what's happening in 2018, that fight was interesting because unfortunately Pulev had an injury, and I'm happy that Takam was actually preparing for his fight in Monte Carlo, but with a mindset that if anything happens, make sure you're ready for Anthony Joshua, because that's where his real head was at. So with 12 days to go, Pulev did get injured and Takam pulled in, which wasn't ideal for me because I was actually preparing for someone completely different, but so be it. The show still goes on and everyone that came out to support still got to have a great night of boxing. But as I said, going back to what I said earlier, with so much anticipation of what's happening next year, I just wanted to put on a calm, calculated performance, This wasn't about going to war. This wasn't about boxing for anyone but myself, sticking behind the jab. And just as I said to you before, in some interviews, if you listen to what I do say, I knew it was going to go 10 to 12 rounds. And I just said I'm going to try and meet him on the inside as such and trade with him now and again on the inside, and that's what I did. And managed to be victorious, and now we can look forward into the new year, and that's what I kind of summed up that performance by, is keep calm, stick to my strategy. It will probably go 10 to 12 rounds, meet him on the inside and get the win convincingly, which I think I won the majority of the rounds, and now I can look to the new year, and that's where I'm at now.
One of the talking points about that was the stoppage, but when you were asked about the stoppage, you seemed a bit I'm not going to say aggravated, a lesser term than aggravated, whatever that is, that people were kind of bringing that up. Is that how you felt the night of the fight? You know, kind of why are people talking about the stoppage?
It's a talking point.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's a talking point. But I do feel the public were robbed of a knockout, and I feel I was robbed of a knockout. Do you know where I'm coming from? But listen, as I said, that the ref has a job to do, so I'm annoyed. Do you know where I'm coming from? I'm annoyed that I didn't knock Takam out, and the public were annoyed that they didn't get to see it. So I can understand where they're coming from. But at the end of the day, we're all winners because, as I said, the mindset of people were, so what are your plans for 2018? And I was thinking, I haven't even, finished my fight with Takam yet. And in the press conference, people are saying, so are you planning on unifying? Well, I've unified. Are you planning on becoming undisputed heavyweight champion of the world? And I'm saying, yeah, but let me focus on Takam. So at the end of the day, even though we were robbed of those two things, the fans of a knockout on myself was a clean knockout on my record. I still get to look forward into 2018 and start planning my next moves.
Now that fight is over, you can start you and your team start looking forward to 2018. Saturday night we saw a very destructive performance from Deontay Wilder, if you want to label that in the same way, against Stavern, someone who couldn't stop when he won the title. He blew him out in a round. First of all, were you impressed by Wilder's performance?
Yeah, phenomenal performance. Done what he had to do, get the job done, and then he looks forward to next year like myself.
Fight's over in a round. His first thought process is to suggest that you or Eddie Hearn or whoever is ducking, and he calls you out straight away, which you kind of probably expected him to say similar things after his win over Stavern, did you?
Not necessarily, because ducking. You know me, I've been taking challenges since my 15th fight, in the sense that I fought for a world title in my 15th fight? I fought for a world title in my 15th or 16th fight, So that tells you where I'm at in terms of fighting people. Me and Dylan, it was a fight that he was calling me out. We got the fight cracking. Deontay Wilder wants to call me out, no problem. I've already had a meeting about that. But the difference between me and him is I don't just say what I say to please people. I mean what I say. So I don't do my negotiations in public. I don't do business in public. We had a meeting. I've said, so are there any offers that have came your way? Because Wilder seems to say that I'm ducking him and that he's really interested in fighting me. And there's not been any offers to say, Anthony, look, we've got this venue free on this day. We've got this broadcaster and that broadcaster and this broadcaster interested in taking the fight. And these are the terms and conditions of the fight. I haven't had anything like that. So I said, no problem. So it seems to me that there's interest, but it's not a serious interest. So what we've decided to do is, Eddie's going to America, obviously, for the Danny Jacobs fight. And he's contacting the champions that are interested in fighting. And I'll have to kind of put my foot forward and start making the offers and trying to secure a fight with the likes of Deontay Wilder or Joseph Parker.
Do you feel like it's one-way traffic as in regards to offers, that they're kind of waiting for yourself and Eddie to make the right offer which suits them? Is that how you look at that?
I always, as I say, I won't give you just opinions. Like, in terms of facts, I just see it as like, they say, for instance, Charles Martin bought the belt, or we bought the belt from Charles Martin. I feel like these champions, I could say, are willing to sell their belts, because if it's about value, we'll look at what their value is, and let's say we doubled what their value is to fight me. I don't see why they won't step up to the plate and challenge. But like, you hear like Joseph Parker saying, oh, they offered 20% of the pot, and it's like, well, I'm not happy with that. I'm not fighting it for 20%. And it's like, well, are you trying to sell yourself to fight? Are you trying to sell your belt? So some people contradict what they're saying. So I do feel like people are now saying, well, we want to fight. And I'm saying, well, let me see the offer on what you're willing to put on the table and how we can negotiate and kind of organise this fight to happen. But I don't see it. So it's like, who are these people's managers and who are their promoters? Who do I talk to? to kind of find out what their offers are to make these fights happen. And that's what I'm interested in. If you can kind of match what I'm doing or beat what I'm doing, I have interest. If not, but if I can match or beat what you're doing, what's the hold up? What are you waiting for? So as I said, and I'll go back to what I said, is that are they looking to sell themselves and sell their titles? And if that's not the case, sooner or later we'll have some word on what's happening, because Eddie's gone out to the States. I spoke with my managerial team of what my decisions will be, and I'm more than willing to fight. And as I said, I'm not in the business of avoiding or ducking anyone. As I said, just look at, to a lot of the boxing purists, they know I've been taking challenges from early on in my career. Even as an amateur, they know that. And for the new faces of boxing who are coming in to watch the sport, look at their records of these fighters calling me out, and they'll see I've never been in the business of ducking anyone. And that's why I can talk freely to you about how I'm going to make moves about these challenges, because I'm not afraid of no one.
I'm assuming you're aware of the podcast conversation that happened last night on the Boxing Voice. Are you aware of this conversation? So the Boxing Voice is a podcast in America that your promoter Eddie Hearn was on, Shelley Finkel was on, Deontay Wilder was on, and Tyson Fury came on it as well last night. So just to give you the breakdown of it, it was around Shelley Finkel and Deontay Wilder believing that Eddie Hearn had said that the deal was offered to them with Dillian Whyte as you part of the package, or vice versa.
The fight offered to them for Dillian Whyte is because Dillian Whyte is, I don't know where he's ranked, but he's ranked with the WBC and wants to fight Deontay Wilder. The same way a lot of people are calling me out, and I look at people seriously. And the difference is about what Dillian and Eddie did. They actually offered him a deal. They didn't say, Deontay, we want to fight you, now offer me a deal. No, they said, Deontay, we want to fight you, and this is what we're offering. But this ain't about dangling carrots, I'm taking it upon myself to sit down with my team, strategize what I'm going to do, the options, met Eddie, spoke to Eddie about what I want to do, and now Eddie's gone to America to talk about what we're going to do, and that's the process of how to make a fight. I don't need to say to Eddie, or in the meetings I've had, Dillian Whyte's name didn't come up once. Do you know where I'm coming from? So they're false accusations.
That's what Eddie Hearn's maintained all along, that if you want to talk about Joshua, we'll talk about Joshua. If you want to talk about Dillian Whyte, we'll talk about Dillian Whyte. But it doesn't come as...
Then this is the issue that you're saying, is this is what Eddie Hearn said.
Yeah.
I've just told you what I said.
Yeah.
So I don't know why you're then referring to what Eddie Hearn just said. Do you know where I'm coming from? It doesn't make sense. I've just told you what my meetings were about.
Yeah.
And Dillian Whyte's name didn't come up once.
I'm just referring to what he was saying.
You don't have to. You're talking to
the
me.
Boxing
Do you know
Voice
what I'm saying?
night. That's all I'm doing.
So that's where I'm coming from. I just feel like you haven't got. If you're talking to me, you're talking to me. You haven't got to refer to what anyone's saying, because it's it can be seen as false. So Eddie listened to what Dillian was saying and said, I want to fight Deontay Wilder. Eddie then said, okay, this is the offer I'm going to make Deontay Wilder to fight you, as a promoter would do and a good manager would do. Deontay Wilder wasn't interested. So as I said, it's not the other way around in terms of Dillian Whyte wants to fight Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder, what are you offering Dillian to fight? Deontay Wilder said, I ain't got nothing to offer this guy. But Eddie's and Dillian have strategized a way to formulate that type of money to offer Deontay Wilder to get that WBC belt on the line. It's not about Deontay Wilder. This is about the WBC belt. That's what Dillian wants. And I understand that. So that aside, I'm not aware of myself being involved in the deal with Dillian Whyte getting a fight for the WBC. Dillian Whyte's one of my rivals. He's not one of my business partners. So any business relations we have happen with fists, not in the negotiation room. So when it comes to myself competing with Deontay Wilder, this is a meeting I've had with my team today, and we've found a way to kind of make these things happen, because, as I said, Deontay Wilder has called me out after his fight, as you said, with Stavern, which I didn't expect, because I haven't seen no contract or no offer in place. So now I've had to take it upon myself my time off to kind of gather my team and make plans to travel to America to discuss negotiations so I can become undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. And that's the way business is done.
I know we've spoken about this many times before over the last year or so, but where currently do you see Tyson Fury fitting into all this?
One side of me says he's not relevant because he's not fighting. I can only speak, with all due respect, I can only speak on a fighter who's active. Do you know where I'm coming from? But on the other side, I need Tyson Fury. I want him so I can compete with him. I want to challenge Tyson Fury. So one side of me says that with all due respect, I can't speak on someone that's not active, that's not fighting right now. So when he's back, I'll be able to say, yeah, I've been watching the way he's training, but I can't even talk on that right now. And on the other hand of things, it's saying, you know what? And I've said good things, and I said, you know what? I want him back so I can challenge Tyson Fury, and we can get this showdown happening. Because at the moment, it's just talk. Do you know what I mean? This is what I'm gonna do. I'm not into the business of talking. And as I said, all these guys are doing their negotiations over social media. I'm not into the business of that. When he's back, when he's ready, we'll sit down and get the ball rolling. Until then, it's not relevant to me.
Will you fight 3 times next year?
Potentially.
And possibly one abroad, including in that 3?
It's an option, but a formula works right now in the UK. A formula works right now, right like where we are. So if fighting 3 times was an option and one of those was fighting abroad, I would say 2. But if fighting 3 times was an option in the UK, and then there was a possibility of fighting abroad, I'll say yeah, because in terms of, if I was to fight abroad, you never know. The infrastructure hasn't been done, the TV, the stadium, I don't know what the infrastructure would be. So I couldn't speak on that because I wouldn't want it to fall apart like a month before and I've done all this training. So the dates we're looking at are UK based. Do you know where I'm coming from? And it's better to be UK based because I know what the UK people want to see. And that's what we're working towards.
Was Twickenham being mentioned?
It's a stadium. Every stadium's being mentioned. And stadium fights need credible opponents. And I'm really interested in fighting in Twickenham. Yeah.
Anthony, Joshua, thank you very much for talking to iFeel TV. And yeah, we'll await news of whatever's going to happen will happen.
That's right.
Top man.